All right, here. Today I'm going to give y'all my predictions for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Darlington International Raceway. This Sunday's race at Darlington is going to be big. For one, it is Darlington. Anything can happen. It is a rough track for the young drivers. And more than likely, you will see a veteran go to victory lane. But two, it is going to be a throwback weekend from the Truck Series on up. You're going to see throwback paint scheme. It is not mandatory by any means, but there are a lot of teams participating in the throwback tradition. But enough of that being said, I want to add that I am going to do a Pick 5 contest for this Sunday's race at Darlington. And if you're new to the channel and wondering how does a Pick 5 contest work, well, it is pretty simple. All you have to do is go down below to the comment section and type in who you think will finish in the top 5. Go 5 for 5. You get an autograph of your choice. There's a Richard Petty right there. And if you go 4 for 5, you get an unsigned hero card of your choice. And I can say this without hesitating. I got every single driver that you can think of racing in NASCAR. So there you go. Comment down below your top 5 and you might win a prize. But before I go any further into the video, I want to give a shout out to Winning Bets, Righteous Redneck, and JB Racing News Reviews. Go check them out in the description below. But let's get started.
Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
I cannot go into my predictions for this Sunday's race at the Darlington International Raceway without talking about Kansas. Kansas this past Sunday was really interesting. Early on, we saw the 2-car of Brad Keselowski leading tons of laps. But towards the end of stage 1, we saw the 5-car Kyle Larson chase him down. And similar to the fall finish last year, the fastest car couldn't really get around the leader because clean air, or fresh air, if you will, was more dominant. And it was kind of annoying, but eventually they caught some lap traffic and Kyle Larson got by. And it was just going back and forth, and they slowed each other down. And the next thing you know, you had the 8-car Tyler Reddick and the 18-car of Kyle Busch chase them down and make it a 4-way race for the stage victory. But Kyle Busch ended up passing both of them to win stage 1. And then stage 2 rolled around, and we saw the 5-car Kyle Larson dominate and win that stage. And at the beginning of stage 3, it was looking like Atlanta for Kyle Larson at least. The fastest car without a doubt. The only way he can screw this up is if he screws it up himself, and which he kind of did, which I'll get to that in a second. But he was going back and forth, and he had a caution at the end. This caution was really controversial. NASCAR should have threw it out when it happened. But they waited till Chris Buescher and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. pitted, so it ended the cycle. It didn't make much sense, and I feel bad for them two crew chiefs. Brian Patty for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was going to make a gutsy call if he would have stayed out there, but he realized NASCAR wasn't going to do anything until it all cycled out, so I hate it for them. And then same for Chris Buescher and his guys. They just had it rough. I feel so bad for them. NASCAR screwed them up, but he can't do much about it. But Chris Buescher did bring it home in the top 10, which I'll get to in a second. But you saw a lot of cautions, a lot of wrecks at the end. It was kind of surprising, but you saw an interesting overtime finish, I guess you can say. The 12-car was going into turn 1, being pushed by the 5-car Kyle Larson, and he managed to screw it up not for himself, but for the 12-car Ryan Blaney, and they both fell back, and they lost a ton of positions. I forgot where Blaney finished, but Kyle Larson finished 19th. Not too good. But they kept on going. No caution was thrown. And we saw the Candyman, the 18-car of Kyle Busch, bringing home the checker flag. This was his first win since Texas in the fall of last year. Big win for him, and it's another winner in the Cup Series. It is going to be interesting. Remember, your points leader right now, Denny Hamlin, he is locked into the playoffs as of now because he is the regular season championship leader. And so you only got a couple spots remaining. And you have drivers like Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola. And I can go on forever without wins. It is going to get crazy. And it's going to come down to points, but not for the points we're thinking about. It's going to be the points that decide which driver has a win already between them. Like Alex Bowman. He was behind Michael McDowell entering the Sunday's race at Kansas, in the point standings, and that's going to play a key factor when it comes down to that final race at Daytona, which is going to be crazy, which is in August and far ways away, but there you go. But finishing runner-up to Kyle Busch was the 4-car of Kevin Harvick. Finishing third was the 2-car Brad Keselowski, the pole sitter. He was really fast throughout the day. Finishing fourth was the 21-car Matt DiBenedetto. Matt DiBenedetto, this was a great performance by him. I look back at Atlanta. I went to that race, and I realized, man, DiBenedetto is running really well. Vegas, he was running okay, had bad luck there. Matt DiBenedetto and this 21 team, in my opinion, they got this whole mile-and-a-half package figured out, and you cannot count them out. Darlington is a rough track, so I'll let them slide, but in a couple weeks, you got the Coke 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. By any chances, I'm not saying Matt DiBenedetto will win that race, but he will be a contender, so mark my words. But Matt DiBenedetto brought it home fourth for back-to-back top 5 finishes for that young driver. Big deal there. And finishing fifth was your defending champ from last year, Chase Elliott. But my driver of the day, the last couple of weeks, my driver of the day has been awarded to a top driver. Last week, it wasn't really a top driver by any means. It was Kaz Grala, but weeks past, he had Eric Almirola and stuff like that. But my driver of the week from this past Sunday's race at Kansas will be no other than Chris Buescher from Prosper, Texas. Chris Buescher, his crew chief, made a gutsy call at the end of the race to run him until he started running out of fuel, because they were hoping for that caution for that tire that rolled out into the front stretch grass, and they didn't get their wish granted, but the caution did come out, and he was in free pass territory, so he got back on the lead lap and managed to bring it home P8, and that is a big-time finish for the Roush Fenway team and driver. But there you go. But now let's get into my top 5. My top 5 for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at the Darlington International Speedway, the Goodyear 400, if you will, a throwback race. My winner for this Sunday's race is going to be the 4-car of Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick has won the last 2 out of 3 races at Darlington, and I think he's going to make it 3 out of the last 4 races at Darlington this Sunday. He brought it home second this past Sunday at Kansas, and I think he's going to go to Darlington and bring home the checker flag to Stewart-Haas Racing. Stewart-Haas Racing has been a terrible team in 2021. JTG Daugherty Racing cars are outdoing 3 of the 4 drivers. Like, come on now. That is unheard of. And Kevin Harvick is still managing to do so well. That just shows how good of a driver he is. But the table is turning. Their finishes are starting to get better as a whole. Chase Briscoe doing better. Cole Custer doing a lot better, a ton better. And Eric Almirola. It's like night and day from when he started the season. Remember, he started off with a lot of DNFs and a lot of wrecks. And now, lately, he's doing really well besides Kansas. But you understand, Stewart-Haas is performing better as a whole, and this Sunday at Darlington, they're going to prove the world that they're doing that, and Kevin Harvick brings home the checker flag in my opinion. Finishing runner-up to him will be the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. runs really well here at Darlington. He has won here in the past while he was racing for Furniture Row Racing, but he is someone to keep your eye on this Sunday. Finishing third will be the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has been really consistent in 2021, and I would expect for him to have a great showing this Sunday at Darlington. Finishing fourth will be the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin in the past has always ran well here at Darlington, has came close to winning multiple times, but this year I think he's going to have to settle with a 4th place finish. He's won here in the past, I think it was 2017 if I'm not mistaken. Finishing 5th will be the 48 car of Alex Bowman. Last year, the first race back from the break, or pause if you will, I'm not going to say the word, Alex Bowman and the 88 crew at the time, before the number change happened this past offseason, they went to Darlington and gave Kevin Harvick a run for his money. And that caught my attention, and I thought he was going to be a contender for the championship, which he wasn't at the end when it was all said and done. But he was really fast at Darlington, and he's just going to be someone to keep your eye on this Sunday. I don't know if he brings home the checker flag by any means, which he already has this year at Richmond, but he might. I think he finished his 5th, though. But my dark horse for this Sunday's race at the Darlington International Speedway, the Goodyear 400, if you will be no other than the 3-car. And that will be Austin Dillon from Richard Childress Racing. Austin Dillon finished runner-up in this race in the fall last year to Kevin Harvick. If there was maybe 1 or 2 more laps, he would have caught down Kevin Harvick and won that race. And if he would have won that race, he would advance to the 2nd round, which he did by pointing his way in. But momentum goes a long way, and who knows, last year's playoffs could have been a whole lot different with one victory by the 3-car of Austin Dillon at Darlington. But there you go. There's a breakdown right there. Kevin Harvick winning. Finishing runner-up to him will be Martin Truex Jr. Finishing 3rd will be Ryan Blaney. And finishing 4th will be Chesterfield, Virginia's own Denny Hamlin. And finishing 5th will be Tucson, Arizona's driver, Alex the Showman Bowman. And finishing as my dark horse driver, who will finish inside the top 10, will be the 3-car of Austin Dillon. But everybody, though, remember to please like and subscribe and comment down below your top 5 to be entered in this Sunday's Pick 5 contest. And also go check out Winning Bets, JB Racing News Reviews, and Righteous Redneck on YouTube. They got great YouTube channels, and they also do these type of contests. Please like and subscribe.